Greetings and welcome to lecture series on thermodynamics. In last lecture we had solved numericals related to steam table. In steam table we have 5 subtopics. First one is temperature table, second one is pressure table, table 3, 4, 5. These are superheated steam tables. Okay, one is for specific volume, then specific enthalpy, then specific entropy. Now table number 1 and 2, it is used for this blue color. Okay, this is saturation dome, vapor dome on TH diagram, and this is a constant pressure curve. So this saturated liquid, wet region and saturated vapor curve. For this we can use saturated water and steam table, temperature and pressure table. And when you consider superheated region towards the right of the saturated vapor curve, there we can use table 3, 4 and 5. So we'll solve a question now. So this example is related to a pressure cooker. So I'll draw a pressure cooker over here. Okay, suppose this volume is indicating pressure cooker. So in this case, what is the given data? A pressure cooker contains 2 kg of saturated steam. So this is a pressure cooker. Now pressure cooker, you have to remember, it is closed. Okay, so volume remains fixed. So whatever is the initial volume, final volume, everything will remain same. That is why what I have written over here, specific volume of zero point 0.1 is equal to specific volume of 0.2. I have written over here for cooker. Now this is the important relation which we will be using for solving this numerical. Now this pressure cooker, it contains 2 kg of saturated steam. Saturated steam means it will be which steam? VG, HG, SG. Okay, so if you draw a TH diagram, okay, let me draw a TH diagram over here, small TH diagram. Suppose this is the vapor dome, and suppose this one is constant pressure curve. Pressure equal to constant curve. Now, what is given? Pressure cooker contains 2 kg of saturated steam. Saturated means what? Point will be over here. This will be the point. Saturated steam at 8 bar. So pressure, this constant pressure is how much pressure? 8 bar pressure. This will be 8 bar. So here inside the cooker, the pressure maintained is 8 bar. This is for point number 1. Now what is asked? Find the amount of heat which must be rejected. So from the cooker, what is the heat which must be rejected? Q which must be rejected so as to obtain a dryness fraction of 0.7. So now it is saturated steam, and when heat is rejected, what will happen? It will convert into wet steam, and that wet steam dryness fraction is how much? 0.7. So you have to calculate Q rejected and calculate the pressure and temperature of steam at new state. New state means point number 2. Okay, now how to solve this numerical? So here I have written V1 is equal to V2. Now initially when you see this is TH diagram for point number 1, it is saturated steam, and what is the pressure? 8 bar. So what will be V1? V1 will be Vg at 8 bar. So I'll go to the steam table, pressure tables. First one is temperature table. We'll go to pressure tables. So this is still temperature table. Why? Because first column is temperature. Now these are pressure tables. What is the pressure given? 8 bar. So the pressure in the steam table is given in bars. So we'll go to the 8 bar pressure. Now for 8 bar pressure, what is Vg? Vg value is 0.24026. So 0.24026. Now this is equal to V2. Now V2, we know it is given in the question that some heat is rejected, and because of this heat rejection, the resultant steam which is left in the pressure cooker, it has dryness fraction of 0.7. Dryness fraction of 0.7. What is meaning of this? Here dryness fraction is 1, here dryness fraction is 0. 0.7 means dryness fraction will be like this, somewhere over here. Okay, so this is suppose 0.7 dryness fraction. Now obviously this is not a constant pressure process. Why? Because we are maintaining volume constant. Okay, so your pressure is not remaining constant. So it is not that from this point you will get point number 2 over here. So what happens now? Now we know that point number 2 is wet steam. So what will be the formula for this? It will be X into Vg. But this Vg will be at which pressure? P2 pressure. That P2 pressure we don't know. We know one pressure which is 8 bar. P2 pressure we don't know. Now in this equation, everything is known except Vg at P2. So we will get Vg at P2 value as 0.34323 meter cube per kg. Now this Vg at P2, we have to find this. Since we know this point number 2, it lies in between. Okay, it is in wet region. So what we have to do is we have to find a value of enthalpy which is find a value of Vg which is approximately close to 0.34323 meter cube per kg. So what we will do, we will see steam table. Okay, so we'll consider only 0.34. So in the pressure table, if you see now, you have to see this Vg column. Now Vg column 0.34, what is the value? 0.343. Now this 0.343, it lies between, let me highlight the values. See this. It lies between 5.4 and 5.6. Okay, so we have 0.343. So this is 0.336 and this is 0.348. Our value will lie in between this one. So now we have to do interpolation. Now to do interpolation, what we will do? We know value of this 5.4 is known. In between pressure is not known. So we have to calculate what is the pressure. So what we will do? 5.4 is known. So I'll keep this steam table on the side, one side. Okay, now see how I have done interpolation over here. Okay, now 5.4 value is known minus, now if you see this value, this is Vg at P2. This pressure is not known. We have to calculate this pressure. So 5.4 pressure is known. So 5.4 minus unknown P2 divided by 5.4 minus 5.6. Now corresponding to 5.4, what is value of Vg? It is 0.34844. So 0.34844 minus, what is the value of Vg corresponding to P2? What is this value? Same value I have written over here. 0.34323, which we calculated, divided by, again 5.4 is there, so corresponding Vg value is 0.34844, minus for 5.6, what is Vg? 0.33669. So from here only unknown is what? Pressure. Okay, so I can calculate what is the pressure. Pressure is 5.48 bar. Now on similar basis, I have used some technique over here to help simplify our work. Now you should remember that if we keep the left hand side same, our work of interpolation reduces. So what I have done is I have calculated this left hand side value, which is 0.4434. I have written it as it is over here. But now you should remember what is the sequence of writing pressure. So pressure was for this corresponding value of specific volume, this was the pressure. So when you are writing the, see what is asked in the question, you have to calculate pressure and temperature. So temperature we have calculated, pressure we have calculated over here. Now we have to do interpolation and calculate temperature. Now to simplify this interpolation technique, what I am doing is, already I have calculated this left hand side, I am writing it as it is. But in this case you should remember what is the sequence. So first is 5.4. So for 5.4, what is the temperature? 154.8. So for 5.4, corresponding temperature is 154.8, minus T2 for P2, T2 is unknown. Here in between value is not there. Minus T2 divided by, for 5.4 again the temperature is 154.8, minus for 5.6, what is the temperature? 156.2. So from here I will get saturation, pressure and temperature for 0.2. Now what is the next part? Now we have calculated this one, calculate the pressure and temperature of steam at the new state. Now you should note that even though dryness fraction is 0.7, okay, I'll help you understand this with again with the TS diagram. So this is TS diagram. Even though dryness fraction is 0.7, but important to understand over here is pressure and temperature of Vg, of wet steam in between, and of saturated liquid, everything will be same. Why? Because this is saturation pressure and corresponding to this is saturation temperature. So that is why even though this dryness fraction is given 0.7, when we are actually calculating 0.2 pressure and temperature, we are looking for Vg point. Okay, we are calculating pressure with respect to this one. Why? Because for pressure and temperature of dryness fraction 0.7, from 0 to 1, everywhere pressure and temperature is same. Why? Because this is phase change process. So this important thing you should note. Now next one is find the amount of heat which must be rejected. So from the constant volume pressure cooker, we are rejecting some steam. So with the help of that, what will happen? We are rejecting some heat. So because of that, dryness fraction is now 0.7. So we need to calculate what is this heat. So how you will do that? Since this is closed system, okay, so this pressure cooker is closed system and we are just rejecting heat. It is not that we are rejecting steam. Okay, so what will happen in that case? We will use delta U equal to Q minus W. Now since volume is constant, work done will be what? 0. So you can recall this first module, when we have constant volume process, work done is 0. So we can cancel this W. So what you will get? Heat transfer, which we need to calculate, is equal to delta U. Now what is specific enthalpy? Enthalpy is U plus PV. So what will be U? U will be, see this, U will be H minus PV. So for point number 1, what I have written, U1 is H1 minus P1 V1. Now when you are using this equation, you have to be very careful. Point number 1 is which point? Saturated steam. Means for that H will be equal to Hg at 8 bar. So for point 1 H1 will be Hg at 8 bar minus. Now when you are using this pressure, remember that when you are solving numericals on steam table, everywhere you are taking in bar. That is why I have written it with red. You have to convert this pressure into kilopascal. Why? Because unit of enthalpy is kilojoule per kg and unit of specific volume is meter cube per kg. So in order to get U unit as kilojoule per kg, you need to convert this bar into kilopascal. So this, what is the pressure? 8 bar. So minus P1 will be 8 into 100. Very important. Don't forget this multiplication with 100. This pressure should be kilopascal into Vg at 8 bar. Now Hg at 8 bar, see the steam table. Hg at 8 bar, 2767.4, 2767.4 minus 800 into Vg at 8 bar. At 8 bar Vg is 0.24026. 0.24026. So you will get U1 value. Now since we have to calculate Q in kilojoule and in question it is given that pressure cooker contains 2 kg of steam, we can multiply this U by mass. So what will be capital U? U1, it will be mass into small u1. So mass is 2 kg of steam, so 2 into small u1, you will get capital U1, unit will be kilojoule. Now this is we are calculating Q. In order to calculate Q, we need to calculate delta U. So this delta U will be U1, U2 minus U1. We have calculated U1. Now U1, capital U1. Now we have to calculate capital U2. Now what is capital U2? Again, use this reference, this formula. So it will be H2 minus P2 into V2. Now in this case, it will become a bit complicated. Why? Because point 2 is wet steam. So how to calculate H2? H2 will be, what is the pressure which we have calculated? 5.48 bar. So H2 will be HF at 5.48 bar plus X2 into HFG at 5.48 bar. Now it is important to note that we don't have again 5.48 bar in steam table. So HF values again you have to interpolate. So that is why I calculated this left hand side and we are maintaining the sequence of interpolation on right hand side to make things simple. So what I have done, HF at 5.48 bar. So what I will do is I will keep this left hand side as it is 0.4434 equal to. Now let me bring the steam table on the right side. So what I have done is, for HF, our sequence was 5.4 minus unknown divided by 5.4 minus 5.6. That was the sequence. You should remember the sequence. So for 5.4, what is HF? 652.8. So 652.8 minus HF, which is unknown, divided by this one is 652.8 minus, for 5.6 it is 658.8, is equal to, we have to calculate HFG also. So for 5.4 HFG is 2098.1 minus HFG is unknown for 5.48 bar divided by again 2098.1 minus of, for 5.6 what is HFG? 2093.7. So in this way you can calculate HF and HFG. So after calculating HF and HFG, substitute the values over here, we will get H2. Now how to calculate this one, V2? this V2 will be X2 X into Vg, right? So X2 into Vg. Now Vg at 5.48 bar, we have already calculated it over here. Vg at P2 5.48 bar, 0.34323. So that value we already have. X2 value also we have. So when you use this equation, U2 is equal to H2 we have calculated. This is the value minus P2. Now again, you have to be careful. What is P2? 5.48 bar, convert this in kilopascal. So 5.48 into 100 multiplied by what is V2? X Vg. So X2 into Vg will be, X2 is, we have calculated. It is given in question, sorry. X2 is 0.7. So 0.7 into Vg value is this one. So you will get U2. Now again, this is specific internal energy, kilojoule per kg. Multiply it with given mass of steam, 2 kg. You will get capital U2. Now what is Q? We have written over here. Q is what? Heat rejected is what? Delta U. So U2 minus U2, we have calculated capital U2, we have calculated capital U1. You will get heat as negative. Now why this heat is negative? Because heat is rejected. Now we'll go to the second question. Next question. Okay, so understand the question properly. A very typical question. Okay, not a regular question. Water at 40 degrees Celsius is continuously sprayed into a pipeline. So I have shown over here a pipeline is there, and from you can see at point 2 water at 40 degrees Celsius is sprayed into a pipeline carrying 5 ton of steam per hour. So what is m dot s? Mass of steam. It is coming from point 1. It is 5 tons per hour. Now I am not converting this 5 ton into kg per second. Why? Because in question it is asked that you have to calculate water spray in kg per hour. So what I'll do is I'll convert this tons into kg. So multiply by 1000. So 5000 kg per hour. Usually what we do, we convert hour into seconds to get power or wattage. Okay, but in this numerical, we are keeping it as 5000 kg per hour, because it depends on what is asked in the question. Now 5 tons of steam per hour at 5 bar pressure and 300 degrees Celsius. So what is the pressure given? This will be saturation pressure. So P1 is 5 bar, which is Psat. And what is the temperature given? 300 degrees Celsius. At a section downstream where the pressure is 3 bar, so uh, the this is the steam in which water is sprayed, and at section 3 you have pressure P3 as 3 bar and quality 95%, means X3 is 0.95 dryness fraction. What you have to calculate? So you can understand over here point 1 pressure is 5 bar, and once the water is sprayed at point 3 the pressure is reduced, and point 3 we get wet steam. Why wet? Because water is sprayed, so the steam will have some water particles, so it will become wet steam. Now it will depend exactly on the condition of point 1. Okay, it is not necessary that every time water is sprayed you will get wet steam at the exit. Okay, it actually depends on the point number 1 condition also. Okay, now what we will do, what we have to calculate is rate of water spray in the pipeline. So we'll go to the steam table now. Now, what is the point 1 pressure? 5 bar. Very important, typical question. So these are the pressure tables for 5 bar. What is the saturation temperature? You can see it is 151.8. So just for the sake of understanding, let me draw TH diagram. It is not required in this question, but in order to explain you the concept behind this, I am drawing a TH diagram. So suppose this is temperature versus entropy diagram. Okay, suppose this is temperature versus entropy diagram, and this is a constant pressure curve. What is the pressure given? 5 bar for this curve. This is 5 bar pressure. Now, what is the saturation temperature for 5 bar? See, this is 5 bar. What is the saturation temperature? Saturation temperature means boiling point. For 5 bar pressure, what is the boiling point? 151.8. So this boiling point, or where the phase change occur, this temperature is 151.8. So here you can notice 151.8 degrees Celsius. So when the pressure, we know when this is atmospheric pressure, that is 1.01325 bar. What is the saturation temperature? 100 degrees Celsius. But now when pressure has increased to 5 bar, what is the saturation temperature? 151.8 degrees Celsius. Now what is the given steam temperature? Given temperature is 300, which is above the saturation, means this point somewhere over here, means this will be where? In superheated region. So indirectly it is given in the question that the steam at point 1 which is entering, it is superheated steam. Now this we have to write in the solution, we have to explain this in the solution. So what I have done, from steam table, page 10 steam table, for 5 bar saturation pressure, what is Tsat? 151.8 degrees Celsius. Now given temperature, which is 300, is greater than Tsat. That is why steam is which steam? Superheated steam. Now whenever we have this such type of case, superheated steam is given, we need to use superheated enthalpy of superheated steam table values. So here what I will do is, I'll clear this now. I hope this is clear. So we'll go to the steam table part. Steam table part. Let me check this. We'll go to the specific enthalpy of, now this is specific enthalpy of superheated steam. What is the pressure? 5 bar. So search for 5 bar pressure. This is 5 bar. Again here you can see 151.8. This is saturation temperature which is matching. Now what is the corresponding superheated steam temperature? 300. So for 5 bar 300 degrees Celsius, what is the enthalpy? 3064.8. So here you can see enthalpy is 3064.8 kilojoule per kg. So this is enthalpy of point 1. Now here we can assume that whatever water which is being spread, there are two ways. This water which is being spread, it is at atmospheric pressure. Okay, and this is saturated liquid, that we can consider. And for that, how to calculate enthalpy? Now we will see for point number 2, which is water. So what will be H2? It will be HF at 40. Now even if you consider atmospheric pressure, we will see this afterwards. That case also this value doesn't vary much. Okay, we will see this concept later. So you can consider water which is spread is saturated water and HF at 40, and this is the, so you can use the steam table now and see, since the temperature is known, we will use which table? Temperature table. Till now we are using pressure table. So see 40 degrees Celsius saturated temperature tables. So here we have 40 degrees Celsius temperature. What is HF? 167.5. So this is 167.5. Now point 3. Point 3 is which type of steam? Wet steam. It is given in the question. X3 is 0.95. How to calculate enthalpy? HF plus X HFG. So for point 3, what is the pressure? It is 3 bar. So HF at 3 bar plus X3 HFG at 3 bar. Now open the pressure tables. After temperature tables, we have pressure tables. And open 3 bar pressure. Now for 3 bar pressure, what is HF? 561.5. So 561.5 plus
Hello, sir.
X3 is 0.95 into HFG at
Sir,
3 bar.
in
At 3 bar,
hello.
HFG is 2163.2. 2163.2.
Sir,
So you will get enthalpy of point number 3. Now you have to apply energy balance. First law of thermodynamics. How to apply that? We'll assume
hello.
that this mixing is adiabatic. So I have shown over here hatching lines outside the pipe means it is
Hello.
adiabatic, friction, without friction. Adiabatic mixing. Okay. So heat is not lost during the mixing process. So here energy before mixing is equal to energy after mixing. So what is energy before mixing? Mass of steam at point number 1 ms into enthalpy of point number 1 h1. So ms into m dot s into h1 plus water is being mixed. So mass of water which we have to calculate it. Now this you have to understand. See this, in this way we will be calculating mass of water. See, find the rate of water spray. This is how we are calculating rate of water spray. So mass of water spray m dot water spray multiplied by enthalpy of 0.2. This is before mixing equal to energy after mixing. What will be energy after mixing? It will be m dot 3 into h3. Now what is m dot 3? If you see mass of 0.3, it will be summation of mass of steam plus mass of water. So same thing I have written m dot s into h1 plus mass of water, mass flow rate of water into h2. Why I am saying rate? Because it is m dot equal to what is energy after mixing? It is 0.3. So m dot 3 into h3. Now what is m dot 3? It is m dot s plus m dot w into h3. We have all the values of enthalpy. Now what we will do? We will take this ms into h3 towards left hand side. So m dot s is over here, h1 is there, and this h3 we are m dot s into h3 we are taking on left hand side. So m dot s is taken common, h1 minus h3 equal to, on right hand side we have m dot w into h3, and this term we will take on right hand side, it will become negative and we will get minus h2. Now m dot s is 5000 kg per hour, h1 h3 H3, H2 values are known, only unknown is m dot w, mass of water. So since this mass of steam is in kg per hour, whatever answer of mass of w we are getting, that will also be in kg per hour. And that is the question which is asked. See the question again. What is the question? Find the rate of water spray in kg per hour. So this is the rate in kg per hour. M dot W in kg per hour is 915.17 kg per hour. Now you can understand that. Again we will see the diagram now and understand the process, what happens exactly. Point number 1, at point number 1 we came to a conclusion that steam is superheated steam. So superheated steam is being injected, water is sprayed in the superheated steam, and what is the result of that? We get wet steam at the exit. Now in all, we can consider this numerical like this also. Okay, suppose this mass flow rate is given. If this is the amount of water which is being sprayed in the steam, what is the nature of steam at point number 3? So in that case, what you will do, you will calculate this h3. Now in this equation, what will happen? Reverse thing will be there. Mass of water will be there given in the question, and you will calculate what? h3. Now you have to compare this h3 for P3 pressure in the steam table. So 3 bar pressure, you will compare this enthalpy value and it will be less than Hg, which indicates that the steam is wet steam, and using the wet steam you can calculate x3. So in this way also question can be asked. Question can be reversed also. So in this case, point 1 was given, point 3 was given, and we basically what we did is we calculated m dot w. What is the spray of water, mass flow, what is the rate at which water is sprayed. This the question can be like this also. Superheated steam is there or any other steam is there, water is sprayed at uh, this mass flow rate, some mass flow rate is given, and what is the state at point 3. It can be like that also. Okay, but method will remain same. You understood the concept. Moving on to the next question now. Now this question, we will solve the question related to steady flow energy equation. Okay, so we'll see this question now. Steady flow energy equation, but we will consider steam. Okay, so this is the question. We'll open the solution part now. Okay. Now here you can see the power output of a steam turbine is 5 megawatt. So turbine, how to draw a turbine? It is expansion. We get expansion of steam in turbine. So here you can see the diagram is drawn in such a way that here the steam will enter and it will expand. So draw the diagram properly. This we have seen in the steady flow energy equation. We have done already the analysis of steam. So I have drawn a turbine over here. This is the inlet point number 1 and this is exit point number 2. Turbine is which type of device? Power producing device. So I have shown a shaft and it is generating a power. What is the power given in the question? It is 5 megawatt. Okay, remember the unit, it is megawatt, not kilowatt. Okay, so you need to convert the units properly. The inlet conditions are, now this is important question over here. Important thing is this is steam. If you see the previous numericals which we have solved in steady flow energy equation module number 1, there we have solved numericals related to air. Okay, here we are solving numericals related to steam. Equation is remaining same, steady flow, but we will be using enthalpy values from steam table. This is the difference which you should note. So the inlet condition are 2 megapascal. So P1 is 2 megapascal, convert it to bar. So multiply by 10. So 20 bar, this will be PSAT value for point number 1. Temperature, so 20 bar is the PSAT. What is the temperature? 400 degrees Celsius. 400 degrees. Now quickly here we can do some analysis. We'll open the steam table. For 20 bar pressure, for 20 bar pressure, we'll go to the pressure. 20 bar pressure. What is the saturation boiling temperature? 212.4. And what is the given temperature? 400. It indicates that point number 1 steam is superheated steam. Okay, again this part is important part. So entering steam is a superheated steam. It is not directly given in the question. From steam table you will understand this. 50 meter per second velocity. So V bar 1 is 50 meter per second and elevation 10 meter. So Z1 is 10 meter. The exit conditions are, so point 2, 15 kilopascal. So 15 kilopascal, how to convert kilopascal to bar? Divide by 100. So 0.15 bar and 0.9 dry quality, means it is wet steam. So H2 is 0.9. So for point number 2 we know what is the state, it is wet steam. For point number 1 it was not given in question, it is superheated. We understood it from the steam table. Velocity v bar 2 180 meter per second, and z2 value I have shown in the diagram also 6 meter. Now here let me make one thing clear, very important point. I had told you this point while solving numericals on steady flow energy equation also. When we had derived this steady flow energy equation, we had considered that Z1 is smaller and Z2 is larger value with respect to datum. So that is what is that? 0.2 is above 0.1, and we got that Z2 minus Z1 is positive. Now in this case, very important note, in this case, in question it is given that Z1 is this one and Z2 is this one. So when you do Z2 minus Z1, you will get correct answer. But many times what will happen is, in question itself, the data will be given in confusing manner. So what they will say is, they will not give this Z2 value. They will say that this is the datum itself. Okay, that also is not given. They will just say that Z1 is, what is now this 10 minus 6, it is 4 meter. So what they will say, inlet is 4 meter above exit. Now in this case, the data interpretation of data becomes critical. Now in this case, Z2 will be 0 and Z1 will be 4 meter. So Z2 minus Z1, you have to consider it as minus 4. You have to remember that. So in this case also, if you see Z2 is 6 minus Z1 is 10, so you will get minus 4. But this point you have to remember that many times in question they simply give it like that. Point number 1 is 4 meter above point number 2 exit. Then you should remember that Z2 minus Z1 value is negative. If they say that point number 2 is above point number 1, in that case Z2 minus Z1 will be positive. I hope this is clear. Now what is asked in the question? Magnitude of change in enthalpy, change in kinetic energy, and change in potential energy. So what is change in enthalpy for point number 1? For point number 1, we have seen that here I also have written at 20 bar saturation pressure, saturation temperature we had seen that was 212.4 degrees Celsius. So given temperature T1 is 400 degrees Celsius, which is greater than Tsat. Therefore steam is superheated steam. So what we will do now? What we will do is we will open steam table and we will see superheated steam table enthalpies. So we'll go to the superheated tables. Okay, this is entropy table. We have to go to enthalpy table. This is enthalpy table. Now what is the pressure given? 20 bar. So for 20 bar pressure, you can see Tsat is, confirm this, 212.4, Tsat is same. Now what is the temperature given? 400. So for 400 degrees Celsius temperature, what is enthalpy? 3248.7. So enthalpy is 3248.7 kilojoule per kg. In this way we calculate enthalpy of superheated steam. Now next part. What is point number 2? Point number 2 is wet. X is given. X2 is 0.9. So how to calculate H2? It will be for this pressure. What is the pressure of point number 2? Psat is given in the question, 0.15 bar. So H2 will be HF at 0.15 bar plus X2 into HFG at 0.15 bar. So now open saturated pressure tables. Open 0. So these are the pressure tables, 0.15 bar. This is 0.15. No, see, this is superheated steam. You have to go to saturated tables. Okay, so let me open the saturated table. These are the saturated. So this pressure is, here you can notice the pressure, this is 0.15 bar. Now for 0.15 bar pressure, what is HF? 226. So 226 plus X2 is 0.9 into HFG at 0.15 bar, HFG is 2373.2. So you will get H2 value. Now what is asked in the question? Delta H. We have H2, we have H1. So delta H will be H2 minus H1. This value is minus 886.82 kilojoule per kg. What is the next question? Change in kinetic energy. Now, how to calculate change in kinetic energy? We had seen this formula, steady open system formula in module number 1. Okay, in steady flow energy equation, what is change in kinetic energy in kilojoule per kg? It will be velocity of 0.2 square minus velocity of 0.1 square divided by 2000. So v bar 2 square minus v bar 1 square upon 2000. All the velocity is given for both the points. v1 is 50 and v2 is 180. So you will get change in kinetic energy in kilojoule per kg. Now change in potential energy will be, again we had seen this formula, g z2 minus z1 upon 1000. Now here z2 is 6 and z1 is 10. So this will become negative. So change in potential energy is minus 0.03924 kilojoule per kg. So this is first question. Magnitude of delta H, delta Ke, delta P. What is the second question? Work done per kg of steam. So how to calculate that? We'll apply steady flow energy equation to turbine. So what is the steady flow energy equation? On mass basis. Why mass basis? Because work done is asked per kg. So we will calculate this small w shaft in kilojoule per kg. That is why we are using mass basis. Okay. Now Q minus W is equal to change in kinetic plus change in potential energy plus change in enthalpy. This formula we will use. So Q minus W shaft is equal to change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy plus change in enthalpy. Now here we are assuming that turbine is insulated, because in question it is not given that heat loss value. So Q value is 0 minus W shaft equal to, we have calculated change in kinetic energy, change in potential energy and change in enthalpy. I have substituted those values over here. You will get work done per kg of steam as 871.9 kilojoule per kg. Now next question is what? Mass flow rate of steam. Now to calculate this there are two methods. First method is what? We have a formula like this one. Okay, Q dot W minus W dot shaft equal to M dot change in kinetic plus change in potential plus change in enthalpy. We know change in kinetic, change in potential, change in enthalpy. Q dot is 0. W dot, it is given as 5 megawatt. So 5 kilowatt. You can 5 into 10 raised to 3 kilowatt you can use. You will get M dot. Second method is what? It is simple method. Second method, we know directly W dot, we know small w which we just calculated, so we can get M dot. So what will be the relation? Capital W dot is equal to M dot into specific work, shaft work. So this power is given as 5000 kilowatt equal to M dot multiplied by this value we just now calculated. So you will get mass flow rate of steam. This method is the simplest one. You can even use this formula where you will substitute value of W dot shaft as 5000 kilowatt. Moving on to the next question. Now this question is very interesting question. Again a typical question. 1 kg of dry saturated steam. So I am writing the data simultaneously. 1 kg of dry saturated steam undergoes isentropic expansion. So isentropic expansion means S1 equal to S2. to 1 bar pressure. So PSAT for point number 2 is 1 bar. Determine the final condition of steam. So you have to calculate what is the condition of steam. It can be, condition means it can be uh, saturated steam, it can be wet steam, it can be superheated steam. But obviously, see, one thing you should remember, I'll explain you this concept. So at 10 bar pressure, if steam is dry saturated steam, I'll help you understand this with the help of Mollier diagram. Okay, so suppose this is 10 bar. So from here, in question it is given that the process is isentropic expansion. So from 10 bar, and it is given in the question that it is dry saturated, means it will be on this saturation curve. So from this 10 bar pressure, if you follow isentropic expansion, always the process is vertical line on Mollier diagram. So you will see that during this process it enters the wet region. So obviously point number 2 will not be superheated point. Okay, this is by common sense. So point number 2, either it can be wet or it can go up to saturated liquid. Okay, usually that doesn't happen, but this is the understanding. So let me show you this again. See, this is Mollier diagram, enthalpy versus entropy diagram. Entropy, and since this is isentropic process, the process will be vertical process, and whenever there is expansion, the process is in downward direction on HS diagram. So from this saturation curve, when you move vertically downward, it will be in which region? Wet region. And here you can see there is dryness fraction curves are there. So point number 2 condition will be wet. Okay, this you can understand if you take help of Mollier diagram. Okay, this is just to understand the concept. We are not solving this question by Mollier diagram. Coming back to this question now. So how to understand this now? Okay, how to practically find out what is the state of point number 2. So for this, what we will do, we will draw a TH diagram. Okay, suppose this is temperature versus entropy diagram, TH diagram, temperature versus entropy diagram. And suppose this is vapor dome and this is constant pressure curve. What is the pressure? Pressure is 10 bar. Now it is given in the question that it is saturated steam. It is given over here, dry saturated steam. So point 1 is over here. Now what happens? There is isentropic expansion. Okay, isentropic expansion. So and the pressure, you can see this pressure is now reduced. Okay, so below this there will be some other pressure curve. This is 10 bar pressure, so there will be 1 bar pressure curve like that. So what we will do now, what is the, how to calculate the end state of point number 2? In order to calculate this, we have a equation, we have a relation of this one, isentropic expansion. So S1 is equal to S2. So what we will do, what is S1? Since this is saturated vapor, we can say that S1 is what? Sg at 10 bar. Now what is at 10 bar, what is the value of Sg? So we'll open the pressure steam table, 10 bar pressure. Okay, so this is 10 bar, and if you see this for 10 bar, here you will have Sg value. What is this value? 6.583. So this is 6.583. Now this value will be equal to S2 also. Why? Because we have isentropic expansion. Now what we will do? We will compare this. Okay, we will compare this value. Now what happens is, let me again draw this on TH diagram. Suppose this is 1 pressure, 1 bar pressure curve. Okay, suppose this is 1 bar. This is 1 bar. Now for 1 bar pressure, what is Vg? that we will see. Okay, so we will go to that part now. So 1 bar pressure, what is Vg? This is 1 bar pressure, sorry, not Vg, Sg. For 1 bar pressure, what is Sg value? Sg value is 7.36. So from steam table, at 1 bar pressure, what is Sg at 1 bar? 7.36. So this is the point, 1 bar. Now our process is isentropic process. Our process is which process? Let me show you this again on the diagram. Our process will be like this. Okay, our process will be like this. This will be point number 2. This will be point number 2 in between over here. So here you can understand that what we can do is we have point number 2 entropy. What is that entropy? 6.583. We can compare this entropy with Sg at 1 bar. What is that? 7.36. So from here, this comparison, we can understand that since S2 is in between SF at 1 bar and Sg at 1 bar, okay, which is 7.36, our value is 6.58. It is in between SF at 1 bar and 7.36. We can conclude that steam is wet steam. And again on TS diagram I have shown you the process. So this is 10 bar pressure, this is 1 bar pressure. Point number 1, it is given as dry saturated, so it will be on saturation curve. And since this is expansion, we are moving in downward direction. This will be the direction of process, and point 2 is wet steam. Now how we will understand this is wet steam? We will compare S1 we calculated, which is equal to S2. Now this S2 value we will calculate with Sg at 1 bar. So from there we understood that the given steam is wet steam. So how to now S2 value is 6.583 is equal to, how to calculate wet steam, this one entropy SF at 1 bar plus X2 into SFG at 1 bar. In this equation only unknown is what? X2. So SF at 1 bar, SF at 1 bar, you will get it from steam table. Okay, I'll clear all this now. So what is SF at 1 bar? SF at 1 bar is 1.303. So 1.303 plus X2 is unknown into SFG at 1 bar. At 1 bar, SFG is 6.057. 6.057. So you will get X2 value. Now here we have interesting, the question is very interesting over here. This process will occur in two ways. This isentropic expansion, it will occur in a cylinder fitted with piston, which is closed system, and second is in turbine, which is open system. And what we have to calculate? We have to calculate work done. So what will be the work done when steam is expanding in closed system, and what will be the work done when steam is expanding in turbine? This will be different. Okay, this is very interesting now. So we have calculated first part, determine final condition of steam. So what is the condition? It is wet and X2 value is 0.872. Now we will calculate the second part, work done when isentropic expansion takes place in cylinder fitted with piston, that is closed system. So I have shown over here, this is cylinder, piston, and we are assuming this is isentropic process, and we are assuming over here that it is reversible adiabatic. So there is no friction and heat transfer is also zero. So this is a reversible process we are assuming. So I have shown insulation over here. So in this case Q is 0. So for closed system what I can write? delta U is equal to Q minus W. Now Q is 0, Q is 0. So what will be work? Work will be minus of delta U. What is delta U? U2 minus U1. So minus of delta U will be U1 minus U2. Now what is enthalpy formula? Enthalpy is, specific enthalpy is U plus PV. So what will be U? U will be H minus PV. So for point number 1, what I will write? U1 equal to H1 minus P1 V1. Now what is H1? For point number 1 it is given dry saturated. So it will be Hg at 10 bar. So again go to the steam table. At 10 bar pressure, what is Hg? 2776.2. So 2776.2 minus what is P1? Pressure is given as 10 bar. Again I had told you, remember you have to convert this in kilopascal. So I have written, shown it over here by red color. So convert bar into kilopascal multiplied by what will be V1? V1 will be Vg at 10 bar. So at 10 bar, what is Vg? 0.1943. 0.1943. So you will get small u1. Now in question, you can see it is given that mass of steam is 1 kg. So how to calculate capital U1? Capital U1 will be mass into specific internal energy. So 1 into this one, you will get capital U1 in kilojoule internal energy. Similarly, point number 2 is wet steam. So what you can write for wet steam? U is equal to H2 minus P2 V2. Now since this is wet steam, how to calculate H2? H2 will be, what is the pressure given? 1 bar. So H2 will be HF at 1 bar plus H2 into HFG at 1 bar. What is HF at 1 bar? HF at 1 bar 417.5. 417.5 plus H2 value we calculated 0.872 into HFG at 1 bar. What is the value? HFG at 1 bar. It is 2257.9. 2257.9. So H2 value you will get. This is for wet steam. Similarly, what will be this V2? It will be H2 into Vg at 1 bar. So H2 is 0.872 into Vg at 1 bar. So at 1 bar, Vg is 1.6938. So you will get V2. Now, what will be U2? This will be H2 which we calculated minus pressure. Now don't forget again to convert this pressure which is there in bar, 1 bar to kilopascal, multiply by 100 into specific volume which we calculated. So this value comes out to be 2238.78 kilojoule per kg. Now again mass is 1 kg, so you can convert this specific internal energy to internal energy by multiplying it with mass. So U2 will be mass into specific internal energy, you will get this U2. Now what is W? W is equal to U1 minus U2. We have U1, we have U2, you will get W. What is the work produced in the closed system? 343.12 kilojoule. Now same data is there, but we will see what happens in case of open system. So what we will do? Work done when isentropic expansion takes place in turbine, that is open system. So I have shown over here turbine. Since heat loss is not given, I have shown it insulated. This is point 1, this is point 2, we have shaft work. What is? Write the steady flow energy equation, Q minus W equal to M, change in kinetic plus change in potential energy plus change in enthalpy. Now kinetic energy, potential energy changes have not been mentioned in the question, we will neglect it. Heat transfer, we are neglecting it. So work, shaft work equal to mass, this negative is coming on right hand side, so minus mass H2 minus H1. Now H2 and H1 we have already calculated over here in first second case. So H2 is this one 2386.38 minus H1. is, what is the value of H1? We have calculated over here. Read the value from steam table, 2776.2. So from here you will get shaft work as 389.82 kilojoule. So what we understand is, when we are expanding, isentropically expanding dry saturated steam to wet steam in closed system, what is the work which we are getting? 343.12 kilojoule. But when we are expanding the same steam in turbine, neglecting change in kinetic and change in potential energy, then shaft work is how much? 389.82 kilojoule. So this is a very interesting numerical